Rhodes Media.
Oh my God! The Dallas Cowboys are the fucking worst! Oh man. And if that doesn't make me happy, you're not human. That was pathetic. And we knew it would be pathetic. It was somehow even more pathetic. Look, there's a reason why on Saturday afternoon, I did a show that was titled, "The Mike McCarthy Era in Dallas Will End Sunday at 4:25. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Cooper Rush sucks. The Cowboys suck. Mike McCarthy sucks. Jerry Jones sucks. No matter if it was a short week and the Eagles look ahead to Thursday, even if Jalen Hurts had turnovers, even if Nick Sirianni made boneheaded decisions in-game on the sidelines like we've seen previously, none of that would affect the outcome. It was impossible to lose to this version of the Dallas Cowboys. They can't run the ball, which is what you do when you're utilizing a backup quarterback to try and take as much pressure as humanly possible off of him. And when he did throw the ball, it was for 2 yards. 3 and out. Boo! Boo! We won, Trey! We won, Trey! Then Trey gets in there. It's an interception. Boo! Boo! Right into the hands of CJ Gardner-Johnson. Yo, it was so embarrassing. You got linemen flopping like a fish on the ground trying to get a football. He rolled over 7 times, and it still goes into the hands of the good guys. Jalen wasn't sharp. Then he turned it on, and it was all she wrote. I truly believe the beginning of the game had a lot to do with knowing the Cowboys were terrible. And it looked to me like he was trying to do too much. You know how sometimes you play a team that are so bad, it's so silly, that you think you're going to have a stat night? You put up 5 points in hockey, or maybe you're playing basketball. You think you could drop 50, so you take some ill-advised shots, and then you realize mid-game, hey, I got to get back to me. Instead of dancing around in the pocket, holding onto the ball super long, looking for home run hits. Once he settled back into the game, he went on 7 play drives, going 80-plus yards, running people over at the goal line, throwing dimes to A.J. Brown, and then also finding Johnny Wilson in the end zone. He got back to himself. Can you do that against better opponents? No. But since the beginning of the year, you had it early. Then he definitely kept the ball in the possession of the Eagles for a while. Then it was a stinker for the early stages. But I don't think it was because Jalen is falling back into some crazy trap, and this is now to be expected every week. I truly believe in the bottom of my heart that it had more to do with that logo, which sucks. You were playing such an incompetent piece of crap that you got out of the norm a little bit. I forgot what the score even was. How much did they win by? It was such a beating that, believe it or not, I flipped to the Sixers. Oh, my God. Do you know how pathetic you are if I'm switching to the Sixers? The Sixers are 1-7. Embiid's not playing. Maxi's not available. They're playing the Hornets. And because you got Kenny Pickett in, and you're running out the final 12 minutes of the game, which is not even competitive, which is glorious considering it's such a short turnaround, I was able to flip the game off to the Sixers. Let that sink in, Dallas. You're a piece of vomit. Well, I guess a piece of vomit. I don't know what that is. You're a big pile of shit. That's what you are. Yo, Zeke! Yo, fucking Zeke! Eat it all! Feed me the fumbles. Feed me Zack Baun, me and you, right there, baby, at the goal line. This is after Zeke decides what? Not to show up to certain meetings or whatever the hell is happening. That's how ugly it is. Zeke's deciding, it's not worth my time to show up for all of you when he's looking at CeeDee Lamb, when he's looking at Cooper Rush, hell, when he's looking at Dak Prescott, any of them. He doesn't think that his time is even worth being spent with them. And then Zack Baun makes one of the most electric plays of the game. Surprise, surprise. Zack Baun, this is the greatest addition in the offseason. And I'm not just talking about Howie Roseman, who, by the way, brought in Saquon Barkley. But I'm talking all of the league in regards to compensation, value, cap hit. Zack Baun is a game changer right now through their start of the season. That's unreal, man. Unreal. Now, here's where I thought Dallas truly went wrong this evening. When Jalen fumbled and they were 6 yards away from scoring a touchdown, they kicked a field goal to make it 7-6. And their logic was, let's keep it as close as possible. Stupid logic. Surprise! The Cowboys don't have brain cells. Surprise! The Dallas Cowboys are idiots! Dumb idiots! You're never going to get that close again. So you better try and take advantage of it. Now, full disclosure, they probably wouldn't anyway. Let me fix my hat here as I'm going crazy. I feel like it's barely on my head anymore. My headphones are shaking off. I don't know what's going on. My body's feeling things right now. That's what happens when I watch my football team win and win so beautifully. There's adrenaline. There's blood pumping. Okay. I don't know if Dallas would have scored anyway, because maybe the sun would get into CeeDee Lamb's eyeballs. Maybe Cooper Rush would throw the ball 5 feet into the dirt. Maybe he would throw it 3 feet behind any receiver. So they probably would have came up with a goose egg anyway. But you can't survive by kicking field goals when the Eagles can score the way they score when they turn it on. You're never going to get that close again. You have to take a calculated risk to try and get in the end zone. Kicking a field goal there, you look dumb. And, well, that came to be true. 5 turnovers. 5 turnovers. The first one being Cooper Rush not even being able to handle a traditional snap. It's just a random snap after they go 3 and out. Here he comes back, jogging onto the field, and he's trying to get a snap. He's dropped the ball. I've seen Tommy chicken cutlets. I've seen Ben DiNucci. I've seen some rough quarterback play. That's as hideous of an experience I've ever seen. That is so disrespectful to the sport. He should retire. 2 things. 1, when Adam Schefter dropped the news on Saturday evening that Dak Prescott was going to get surgery, I knew everything right then and there. They were giving up. But the second part of this is, for anybody who would look at the previous run that Cooper Rush had, where he won a bunch of games, except for against the Birds, by the way. But when he won a bunch of games a few years back, that was never going to relate to this style of Dallas Cowboys football. At the time of that circumstance, the Dallas Cowboys defense was allowing 15 points per game. The Eagles can barely score in the first quarter this year, and they would double that in this game. And that was my stance prior to seeing the result. They did even more than 30. And they probably could have done more if they used their first teamers in the entire fourth. This was a 3-quarter game, but not really, because the first half, our offense played like shit. So this was within a quarter and a half, maybe a quarter. You were never going to get the same results with Cooper Rush because this Dallas team is broken. They are fractured. There's so many cracks in the foundation. They're about to blow up the entire coaching staff. They're going to try and head in an entirely new direction. They don't have swag. They don't have personality. They don't have belief. You could see it in the body language of CeeDee Lamb. He's fed up. You could see it with some of the defenders. What are we supposed to do out here? We're giving the offense a chance by turning the ball over. That interception by Diggs was pretty damn impressive one. So the D was making things happen, and your offense was incompetent. That wears you down. That destroys you, and you lose motivation. It was never going to be duplicated what Cooper Rush did. And think about how bad Trey Lance must be. They bring him in for those packages, and you thought they'd make the overall switch, but then Cooper Rush comes back. He's throwing the ball into the feet of wide open guys in the flat. You should see the look on the faces of the people in the stands. Oh, man, they couldn't wrap their head around it. You should. Let me ask you this. When you attended that game and you got your stupid shoulder pads on with your stupid hat on and your stupid blue and white cowboy jersey on with your stupid jean shorts, what did you think was really going to transpire? Now, I've said this before and I'll say it again. You are the biggest scumbag in the world if you live in the Philadelphia area, South Jersey, Delaware, anywhere in this range, and you're a Cowboys fan. You are scum of the earth. There's something fundamentally flawed in your head. But all week long, there were some out there, even though a good portion of them know this is a tragic, tragic team. Some thought the rivalry would be enough for them to step up to the moment. The Eagles sniffing themselves. The Eagles overlooking. The Eagles did overlook their opponent. This was the Eagles overlooking them. That's why the game started the way that it did. All chaotic, all out of whack, all bizarre. They weren't even locked in. Seriously, they played maybe a quarter and a half before they went to their backups. And the first few possessions were nightmarish. And that was enough to embarrass you. This was them not showing up. They played Jalix Hunt more than Bryce Huff. Now, that's probably a deeper discussion. I say that somewhat tongue-in-cheek, just trying to make fun of Cowboys fans, that we have a project defensive guy who's playing decent snaps or whatever, but it's probably more telling on the Bryce Huff stuff. Although Bryce Huff earned a little bit of that paycheck. If I'm Jeffrey Lurie and I'm signing that paycheck this week, there's actually a smile on my face saying, hey, at least you did something, dude. I mean, at least you did something. Although for a good portion of this game, we were wondering what the hell is going on and why is Jalix Hunt being more prominent of a piece than Bryce Huff, a very, very rich price tag guy. You know, it's an expensive player. Used in third downs. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. But hey, he earned it today. Oh, I do want to mention Jalen and his ankle. It's so Nick Sirianni to have that hiccup on whether it was Friday or Thursday. Maybe it was Friday for his press conference saying, oh, yeah, it was on the practice report. Jalen Hurts and his ankle. And then Zach Berman and some of the reporters were going, dude, it was rest. And then the PR team starting to scream from the side of the desk that Nick Sirianni was sitting at. And he's like, no, rest. And it's like, oh, Jesus. Come on, Nick. You can't get this right. You're a CEO coach. You don't call plays. You don't do certain things, and all you're supposed to do is keep everything in check. All you're supposed to do is keep everything in line. This is the starting quarterback. You got to know who the starting or what the starting quarterback is labeled as on the practice report, so you don't vomit out of your mouth to the public and get the Eagles in trouble. That is so Nick Sirianni. Here's the thing, though. Ankle looked good. Not for 1 second was I concerned with anything ankle-related, physical, him running, something looking off. He took off and looked pretty damn sharp. Some good runs, running people over, and got much-needed rest. This was the best-case scenario you can ask for in regards to setting yourself up beautifully for the game against Washington on Thursday at home. The Washington Commanders lose to Russell Wilson and the Steelers, and now you get an entire quarter to put your feet up and just watch with your helmet on one of those damn racks. That's outstanding. Outstanding. It really is. The ankle looked good. Other injury notes. The Saquon wrist/forearm slow-mo was not an enjoyable watch. Looks like he'll be all right, though. And the Darius Slay thing. So, on the first drive, the Cowboys go 3 and out, right? Darius Slay, there was a matchup where he was targeted. He's there, and then he limps off. And he's in, he's out, he's in, he's out. Isaiah Rodgers in, he's out, he's in, he's out. I don't know what to expect from Darius Slay right now, just in regards to availability. He's hobbled, he doesn't practice, he's out for a while, he's in. It's a bizarre one. So it's just going to be like that the rest of the way because I don't see in any world where he's able mid-season to still be active and somehow figure out how to get a certain percentage healthy. So I don't know how that's going to shape out or shape up or whatever the hell the damn phrase is, but it's something that we're going to monitor for sure. Speaking of corners, though, how about Quinyon? Quinyon is so damn technical and so damn savvy, it's insane. Just the little things of staying perfectly where he needs to by the sidelines. So even if a Cowboy receiver comes down with it, it doesn't matter because it's impossible to get 2 feet inbound. Sure, you made the catch. You got 1 toe tap. Not going to cut it in this league, dude. So positioning, technique, you name it, this kid's got it. There's nothing sweeter. I don't give a damn if it's Cooper Rush throwing the ball or not. He does this against anybody. Go look at what Jamar Chase just did against the Baltimore Ravens. Go look at what Jamar Chase did against the Birds. Yo, this isn't a Quinyon versus Dallas thing. This is a Quinyon versus fucking everybody thing. He's a legitimate shutdown elite corner who's just getting started. and he's all ours. I've been begging Howie for years now to look at taking a first-round draft pick corner so we can build around that and not have to worry about making a trade with the Lions for Slay at a certain part of his career. Just go get one, solidify it, boom, we're locked in. And this is why I've been demanding it forever. Corner, stop running away from the corners. Stud. Coop. Stud. How about that return, too? Do I get nervous with Cooper DeJean returning? Sometimes, yes. But is he so explosive with it that I understand the intrigue and why they do it? Yes. Yes. All right, listen, we're going to take some anytime hotline calls here, as we always do. First, though, hello, welcome on into the channel. If you are new here and made it this far, I love you. Thank you so much for stopping by. You can hit the subscribe button as we break down Philly sports every day here. Hit the thumbs up button as well, and you can take me on the road with you by going to any of your podcasting platforms and searching Sports Talk with Broads or Broads Media, and you can subscribe over there and leave a 5-star rating and reviews. That helps out the algorithm tremendously. And lastly, you can also get more Broads Media content if you're interested by joining the memberships here on YouTube, where you will get access to Coffee with Broads live streams on Mondays and Thursday mornings at 11 a.m. and get access to our Discord channel. And one more last thing, I promise. My friends over at Garage Beer, they're just the best people on earth, and they have the best beer on earth. There's nothing better than game day. You're hanging out with the fellas, you're hanging out with your friends and family, and you got that Garage Beer on your shoulders. It's not an IPA. Don't got to worry about no IPA stuff. It is 100% light beer. It's 1,000% quality. DrinkGarageBeer.com. That's the information. Do not be a fool. It is the best beer to ever touch my lips. Okay. With that, let's take calls. Let's listen to the people. We'll start things off with Sean.
No, that was an enjoyable 3.5 hours of football. I know CBS hated it from a national audience perspective, but I found it quite entertaining. I mean, anytime you kick Dallas's ass, especially in Jerry World, that's a beautiful thing. The Eagles took them to the woodshed. I mean, the first half was a joke. The game should have never been as close as the Eagles were making it. I mean, Jalen Hurts, I might be able to forgive the first interception. You tipped your hat to Diggs on that play. But the sacks and the fumble is ridiculous. You have to have better pocket awareness than that. But they got their shit together in the second half. They did what they had to do, and they did it early enough where their players were able to get some rest, which is critical going into that game on Thursday in a short week. And, you know, I said this on Amadeo's show in closing. Howie Roseman, you better do whatever it takes to sign Zack Baun immediately. That guy has been playing his ass off. That's the best linebacker play we've seen by a Philadelphia Eagle, dare I say, in years. He's all over the field making plays. Credit to Vic Fangio for seeing something in this guy, moving him to a different position, and credit to Zack Baun for picking it up that quickly and being a menace all over the field.
Yeah, that's a great point for sure. It's not as if Zack Baun was a known commodity and that's his prime position where he was going to lock in and be sensational in that spot. We were all wondering, does it make complete sense for him to be handed the keys the way that they were handing him the keys in training camp? It seemed it was so in stone from the rip. I was confused by that. But hey, to their credit, they obviously were seeing something that shined. And Zack Baun is incredible. And you don't want to be put in the same exact position that you were when you watched TJ Edwards go. Not that TJ Edwards was the most outrageous linebacker in the world. Our bar is set very low. He was a good linebacker, don't get me wrong, but you just don't want to be put in the same spot where you actually find something that is worth keeping here and worth having and worth utilizing for more than just a short amount of time. Let's get on that early so we don't have to play around. But knowing the way they operate, I would not be shocked if they just try this experience all over again because, hey, we found TJ Edwards, not drafting him very high out of Wisconsin, obviously. We know his story, and that panned out. Then we found Zack Baun. We already used a high enough draft pick on Nakobe Dean. Jeremiah Trotter is in the works, and he's kind of learning. Maybe he could do something similar to Nakobe Dean, where once he gets a chance, and I know Nakobe was more of an injury issue, but it took him a little bit of time. Now he's starting to play better. If Jeremiah Trotter Jr. can watch from the sidelines and then eventually get a crack at it a year or two in, maybe he can be that. I wouldn't be shocked if they continue to roll the dice because they have proven that they've been able to find stuff. So let's keep finding stuff instead of committing to stuff. And their rationale would be that allows us to sign AJ. That allows us to get Barkley. That allows us to pay Hurts and our left side of our line and whoever else we need to that deserves big money. CJ Gardner-Johnson coming back. We have to give up certain areas of our roster to do that, and linebacker is one of them. Now, I'm just speaking out loud here. Maybe they do feel this is different and Zack Baun is a different type of beast and they don't want to keep rolling the dice. Maybe that is something that they look at. But I guess I'm more in the line of thinking of I will believe it when I see it because I know how Howie Roseman devalues the position. Unless he gets swayed by seeing what a good linebacker can actually do for your overall product. I don't know. I don't know which way he's going to go. But until I actually see pen to paper and I see the graphic of the Philadelphia Eagles Twitter account saying, congratulations, Zack Baun, my man just earned a 3-year extension, I ain't believing it. Now, another thing I want to note when you look back at just how this game played out, a business decision was made so early on by the Cowboys defense. That 3rd and 6, when Saquon catches the ball on the left side of the field, and there was about 4 Cowboy defenders that were sort of all making a push towards Barkley, but half-heartedly, and he breaks through all of them and continues to move forward. That's when the game just started. That's what you needed to see to know that the Cowboys had no shot. I mean, they're not even giving you the effort. They don't have the talent to begin with. They also don't have the effort. So if you don't have the talent, you don't have the effort, this thing's going to get ugly, and it's going to get ugly real quick. They didn't have the will. They didn't have the determination. They didn't have the willingness to try and stop Saquon there. It was going to be hard. It was going to be difficult. Someone would have to do something that might hurt, and they all made business decisions there because they are not bought in right now, and that's why, to go full circle, I deemed this game the game that will end the Mike McCarthy era in Dallas. And I don't know how it doesn't. I don't know how it doesn't. All right, let's go to Carmen.
This was a fantastic game all around for all sides of the ball for the Eagles. Defense balled out. Yeah, I know you're facing Cooper Rush. Yeah, I know you're facing Trey Lance. But they played a fantastic game.
Sure did.
They completely neutralized the Cowboys' offense. Our offense, dude, Hurts, great game. A.J. Brown, caught some great passes. Saquon, he only played 3 quarters, understandably, but he played a great game. This was a fantastic, tone-setting game to set it up for our big Thursday night matchup against Washington. That game and the game in late December is going to determine the NFC East. And I'm excited, bros. I really am. I'm about to tack a victory ball. I'm going to go a bit early tonight because I got an early work day tomorrow. Let's go Birds.
Nothing like a victory bowl, especially when it's against the loser Cowboys. So I hope you enjoy that victory bowl big time. So, yeah, this game on Thursday is a big one, and I obviously feel good about it, especially with it being at home and just riding this momentum that they're on right now and the in-game rest that you get with the entire fourth quarter. You set it up so nicely. So This game is big because when you look at the last few games that they won, right, dating back to the bye week, they got back on track. You see the Giants, you see Cincy, there's Jacksonville, there's this game. There's probably a game I'm missing in there that I know I am. What was it? It was the Giants, there was Cincy. What game am I missing? Jacksonville, Dallas. Maybe I'm not missing one. There's so many wins, I can't even remember them all. So whatever. But anyway, my point is, once you get to Washington, this is a tone setter. This is a stretch definer. You win this game, then the entire stretch since the bye week until then is massive. You lose this game, and while it's not the end of the world, there's still plenty of football left. I'm not ruling this team out from doing anything. It defines the stretch differently. So this game holds a lot of weight. This game changes the tone of how we talk about the bye week and on. You close it out and you finish it off. It's an amazing, 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 amazing stretch after how the season started. And I expect them to do that. And I think that they will for sure. But it's interesting you bring up, just like, I know it's Cooper Rush. I know it's Trey Lance. I know it's the Cowboys offense. Here's my question to you all. And I asked this on Bleacher Report. I'll ask it to you. What was your biggest takeaway here? I'll give you two options. The Eagles are great. The Cowboys suck. What hits you more when you watch that game? And as much as I love what the Eagles have been doing, as much as I am proud of how they dominated this game, I personally believe that this is very simple. The bigger story out of this one is the dysfunction and the turmoil and the ugliness of where the Cowboys are now. Not that the Eagles didn't play a hand in it. Not that their ability to strap up and to play good defense and to not allow anything to beat them essentially. And, all that stuff is true. But their incompetence was more on display than it was the Eagles are elite in so many areas, even though the Eagles do have a lot of magnificent talent playing very well at the same time. They were that bad. So if you're just personally asking my opinion as we sit here a half hour after the game ended, what truly is my bigger takeaway just from an overhead view? Obviously, I don't give a shit about the Cowboys like I do the Eagles. So anything Eagles related hits home and hits me harder. But just more of a, let me remove the bias. Let me remove the emotions for a second. And when I watch that game as a football fan, if I didn't care about either of these two teams and I'm studying that game, I'm going, damn, Dallas is woof. Dallas has to make overhaul changes. And they're locked into that quarterback, too. All right, everybody, that's going to do it. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me today. I greatly appreciate it. I love you to death. Go Birds, baby. Go Birds. Short week, so we'll be talking, obviously, all throughout the week, and we're going to have to flip the page rather quickly. Love you guys to death. Wouldn't be here without you. You're the greatest. I'll talk to you all on the next one.